What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. And as I was saying the other night, it actually is a late night agenda. Because of the Euros, we're going to be going at 10 o'clock most nights when we do these shows. And I tell you what, I missed you motherfuckers. I really, really did. It feels like an eternity since we've been on to have a chat, a proper chat. So look, I took it easy today. I filmed the latest One Football News video that's going to be out tomorrow, so make sure you guys get a chance to have a look at that one. It really does help us out, by the way, if you can't take the time to view it, because it helps our partnership with One Football and stuff like that. How are we, by the way? Did we watch the Spain game? Did we all have our accumulators ruined, much like I did by Spain? God almighty, I had everything that could have gone wrong did. Morata, no goal. Olmo, no goal. No goal in the match. Was there a penalty? No penalty. Nothing, Craig. Don't bother putting any money on again, son. Learn your lesson. Move on. How are we, ladies and gents? Look, thank you for those who came over and showed some love over on That's Football when I was over there. Thank you to Jack Gill, by the way, who just did a watch along the Spain game on our other channel, Mundo Sporto. Loads and loads for us to get through, and already I can see in the chat people talking about Isak, somebody who was linked to Liverpool recently, so we might as well kick off with that one. What do we know about this guy? Well, Alexander Isak played for Real Sociedad, and he's had a very good return this season with them, and I think we're going to hear a lot more from Liverpool fans around Isak now after that performance. Why he was taken off, by the way, with around 20 minutes to go, I'll never understand. And maybe somebody can... I don't think he pulled up with a knock or anything like that. But, you know, fair play to Sweden. They dug in the end. They got a point. But that still won't stop the Liverpool fans' tongues wagging around Isak. Hey, Josh, how are you, mate? And Hamza and Brian and Liz and everybody else in the chat. Lovely to see you. There we go. Stephen White was saying I was so impressed by Isak. It's not great, Zion said. Pretty bad from Spain. Yeah, they just can't score, can they? Alvaro Morata should have had one in the first half, and he carried on his form from the last friendly where he missed chance after chance after chance. And yeah, that's what you get with Morata. Sometimes he goes through these spells where he's got no confidence. But hey, that's a whole load of not our problem, as I like to say, isn't it? Isak was very good, said Bobby McDonald as well. Right, ladies and gents, what do we want to talk about tonight? We have, of course, got Neuhaus, but the big Liverpool news story of the day is, of course, the news that Adrian has signed a new contract at Liverpool. Not just a 1-year deal. Oh, no. A 2-year deal at the club. Now, what can we read from this? Well, one of two things is going to happen. The most likely thing is that Kevin Kelleher is promoted to the club's number 2 and that he'll stay, and if anything does happen with Alisson, if he picks up a knock, Kevin Kelleher will come in, take that spot, and Adrian is the club's number 3 keeper. The other option is, of course, that Kevin Kelleher goes out on loan somewhere and that Adrian's there as a backup with young Gianluigi Pitaluga, of course, at the underage level as well. James Pearce believes that Kevin Kelleher is going to get a new contract as well, which is great, and probably going to be the club's number 2, which, you know, fills me full of a bit more confidence, because look, he's better goalkeeper than Adrian in my mind. He really is. Yes, I'm biased because I'm Irish, but from what I've seen to Kevin Kelleher, he looks like the real deal. He really does. Colin Lawler, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my man. Very, very welcome to have you with us, and don't forget to check out the community tab for the Discord link as well, mate. Hope to see you over there really soon. And Jonas, thank you for the super sticker, dude. Very, very kind of you. Adrian can coach Kelleher with the experience he has. Do you really want him coaching Kevin Kelleher, mate? I mean, experience, yes, he does have experience. And I read an interesting stat on Twitter earlier on that actually made me laugh. Apparently, Liverpool are the first club to ever renew Adrian's contract. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, I've yet to see anybody pull the lad up on it, but if that is the case, then it is one of those very odd, strange statistics, isn't it, that sometimes happens in football. Nice shirt, mate, said Oliver. Thank you. It's the training shirt from this year, and when I seen it was released, the pattern on the shirt, interestingly enough, on this one is believed to be from the underneath of one of the Air Max trainers that Nike have. I'm not sure which one, but you know, I'm all for it, and it does make sense when you look at the pattern. What have we got? Neuhaus, says Garrett. Yeah, we can have a chat around Neuhaus. So again, couple of different trains of thought here around Neuhaus. So he is away in international duty. Obviously, he's a Borussia Mönchengladbach player, and not just Liverpool being linked with the guy lately. Some other clubs as well. Manchester City's name have been thrown around today with Neuhaus, and of course there is the links to Bayern Munich, who've long been linked with the guy. But of all the midfielders we've been linked with, there seems to be the most credibility pointing towards Liverpool being linked with Neuhaus, from journalists that you know, journalists that I certainly believe as well, nobody's flat out saying that Neuhaus is going to sign after the Euros, but a lot of people are saying all signs point to Neuhaus being the most likely player to come in if Liverpool were to look to fill the position left void when Gini Wijnaldum signed for Paris Saint-Germain. So on that, what do we know about Florian Neuhaus? Well, for me, not a lot. Sam McGuire put a good piece up on Twitter going through Neuhaus's stats and what areas of the pitch he works well in and stuff like that. And anybody that has watched him for Borussia Mönchengladbach gives glowing praises of him. And he's 24 years of age. And look, it makes sense. It makes sense if Klopp's going to return to the German market, somewhere where he obviously has extensive knowledge, great contacts. Borussia Mönchengladbach, we did have a little bit, I won't say a spat with them, but if you remember going back a while, we did cancel a friendly with Borussia Mönchengladbach because they were sniffing a little bit too hard around young Ryan Brewster before Liverpool had tied him down to a senior contract. So I thought maybe we'd had a bit of bad blood with them, but clearly it doesn't look like, or maybe they need the money. I don't know. We do know there's a lot of clubs in Europe that are struggling after COVID and the financial impact that's had. So keep an eye on the situation, but obviously with him being at the Euros, I would imagine nothing is going to happen one way or the other, whether he goes to Liverpool, Manchester City or elsewhere till after the Euros. Craig, did you use your Manscaped on your head? It's smooth. My missus nicked it on me. I'm not even lying to you. She's probably going to pop in the chat or something, but she nicked it on me. So it's now a Womanscape 3.0 for her perfect package. There you go. Andy, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. My man Andy Miller has become the newest member to the family. Great to have you in, Andy. I hope to see you in the Discord group soon as well. I did see that somebody in the chat points out Tielemans not saying he wouldn't join Liverpool in his interview. Again, it is true. I don't know if you've seen this, but he was asked in a press conference, obviously, with the Belgian national team about the links linking him to Liverpool and other clubs. I actually have the quote here on my phone, so bear with me 1 second while I just grab it. I do some preparation for the shows. I know it doesn't look like it at times, but I do. Right, where are we, Craig? We'll learn to click on the right picture. So this is what he had to say. That's really none of my business right now. Let the journalists speak. They undoubtedly have a lot to do with that, but I don't care about that. All I can do is make sure that I'm as good as possible. That's what Yuri Tielemans had to say when he was asked about the rumours linking him with Liverpool. Now again today we will move on to talk about Patson Daka in a few minutes, ladies and gents, but it seems like Liverpool and Leicester have a lot of crossover in this transfer window, obviously with Tielemans, with Daka, and there's been some talk around that maybe Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain could be fit for a move away from Anfield, links to West Ham and a couple of other clubs as well. But I'm almost certain, I heard the gaffer say, or at least it be let known, that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is not going to go anywhere, that he's going to be at Liverpool next season. So, you know, I don't know what to make of it really, to be honest with you folks. Right, what else? Ladyscape, that's it, Brian. Ric Flair for 110k. Well, we won't get there tonight, but if we do get there, yes, you have my word, Quinch. You'll get a Ric Flair if we hit 110k tonight. Tielemans looked great. He did. He looked very silky, mate. Kingsley Coman, Ross wants to talk about. No problem. Let me just go to my my phone of knowledge here, because as I said, I did take a lot of notes and stuff before this one. Do I have that one? No, I don't have the notes around. Where was it gone? Kingsley Coman. So this is the story with Kingsley Coman. His agent wants to get more money from him. He's running down his Bayern Munich contract. There's talk that maybe €50 million could get Kingsley Coman out of Bayern Munich, but everything seems to point to his agent, who's basically come out and said, my client needs and wants better terms. So I think that if he can get the terms that he wants at Bayern Munich, he probably stays there. Would I take him at Liverpool? Look, I think most of us would take him at any club, wouldn't you? He's a very good footballer, but I can't see much truth to it if I'm being honest with you. I'd imagine €50 million, I mean, reasonable, but I can't see us doing it, to be honest. Not after spending the money on Canade, and we know that we're probably going to need an attacking player. And a lot of the stuff may depend on who moves away from Liverpool as well, how much cash we can free up over the next few weeks. There's so many here I want to get through, so I see my wife in the chat as well. I got it to make sure there are no strays or togs or bikini when it's sunny. You wouldn't wear a bikini, love, let's be honest with you. I won't tell you guys what our son said to her yesterday. Yeah, I won't tell you, but it is. Can I tell them? Can I say it? Will she get mad at me? I don't know if I can say this. I don't want to say it. I'll get myself in trouble. Not just with the wife, but with the world in general. Romero. So Bobby wants to know about Romero. Argentina player, currently away at the Copa America. Again, had been linked with a move to Liverpool. I did touch on this, buddy, in recent weeks, but I don't think there's that much truth to it, if I'm being honest, around Romero. But one story around defensive reinforcements, or in this case defensive exits, that caught my eye was around Nico Williams. I don't know if you guys seen this, but there's a few little stories suggesting that Nico Williams has been linked with a move to not just Southampton, but to some other Premier League clubs as well. Now, from everything that I've read over the last year, and particularly over the last few months, it looks as though Nico Williams is very much in Jurgen Klopp's plans, and that he was going to go into the season as a backup for Trent. He is, of course, away with Wales at the Euros right now, and it's a difficult one because you don't want to stunt his development by not getting him much game time, but we also can't leave ourselves short. So if Nico Williams does move on, I think it'll be fairly obvious that we're going to replace him. Although I've not seen anybody from the Liverpool side give any credibility to these rumours, but we do know that Ralph Hasenhüttl wants reinforcements there. They've obviously lost a couple of, at least one fullback that I can think of off the top of my head, and Bertrand when he left. So will he bring in Nico Williams? Will Liverpool sell Nico Williams? How much would Nico Williams be? A lot of questions there and very few answers, to be honest. But he's not the finished article, Nico, but then again, neither was Trent neither are any young player really when they start to come through. And I remember having debates with people around Nathaniel Klein and Trent Alexander-Arnold and saying, you know, is he going to be good enough? Will he ever be able to challenge? Well, Klein, he got injured and Trent never looked back. So with Nico, I think there is a lot of talent there, but he does need some development. So it's a tricky one. I would have thought there was more credibility maybe to a loan move, but then we'd still need a replacement. So I don't think there's anything to this. I think that Nico will be at Liverpool next season, and I hope that he has a great Euros as well with Wales. Craig, do I think it's coming home? If France is your home, then yes. If France isn't your home, then unlikely. Particularly if you happen to be English, I don't think it's coming home. Although it was a very good performance, I will say that, from England against Croatia. I thought they absolutely bossed the game. I thought Foden did really well, but the star of the show was obviously Calvin Phillips in midfield. He was magnificent. The through ball he played for Raheem Sterling, who scored the most Raheem Sterling-y goal in the history of goals, by the way. It had everything. A little nick off the defender, a little scuff into the ground, goalkeeper getting a touch on it. All the Raheem Sterling traits of a Raheem Sterling goal. But it was a good performance by England. They've got themselves off to a cracking start in the Euros. How many subs till 110? I think it's about 70. I think it's around 70, something like that. It won't be lovely, by the way, to hit 110k tonight. So if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do take a second, hit that subscribe button. For those of you that enjoyed the watch along I did with Mr. Goldbridge over on That's Football yesterday, you'll be happy because I'll be back over there tomorrow night, and I'll be doing the France versus Germany game with Mark. Is it France-Germany or France-Portugal tomorrow? I mean, there's so many games coming on, I can't even stay awake right now. France-Germany tomorrow, so I'll be on That's Football with Mark from 7:30 tomorrow night doing more stuff, because it seemed to go down really well. People liked the combo of myself and Mark, and I've been saying to you guys we've been mates for ages and we didn't really ever have a proper chance to do stuff together, and the Euros gave us this opportunity. I'll be covering all the England games, by the way, on Anfield Agenda because of our partnership with Boyle Sports, and we'll be covering lots more games as well, like tonight where Jack on Mundo Sporto did the Spanish game, which, God help Jack, he always gets a 0-0 draw. I really, really do feel sorry for him. I don't know if he's the jinx or if he just gets the games that are most likely to end in a 0-0, but I didn't think today's would end in a 0-0. So sorry, Jack, mate, if you're watching. Not Jack, mate. I said Jack, my mate. Not sorry, Jack, mate. I've nothing to apologise to Jack, mate, for. If anything, he should be apologising to me because I haven't been on the goddamn Happy Hour podcast yet. Jack, hit your boy up. Do you know what I mean? Hit your ball boy up. I did ask today on Twitter if Togdad would adopt me, but again, apparently Togdad doesn't want to adopt me, so I'm very disappointed. I could have been Bald Tog, or Togbald, or Humptyden, or Humpty Tog. There's lots of options there, but no, the adoption papers don't look likely, so I'm going to have to remain unadopted. I'm going to have to remain a parentless child, unfortunately. I'm in a bit of a weird humour today, folks. Right, let's go. What else we got? Pedri. Okay, so player 2 says, thoughts on Pedri to Liverpool. I didn't realise now, when I poo-pooed this the other day, Though Crackton, I like that one, Cube. When I poo-pooed this the other day, it was because of the £70 million number. But I didn't realise that Pedri just has 1 year left on his Barcelona contract. They seem to have a lot of players right now whose contracts are running down. Dembele, of course, being another one. Pedri's an undoubted talent, but I think Barcelona will do everything in their power to keep him at the club, because you even seen the faith shown in him tonight by Enrique, the Spanish manager, who brought him on for the last 15-20 minutes or so when they were looking to try and push on and win the game. So he is a highly thought of young man, but I just can't see him leaving Barcelona, even with the financial peril that they're in at the minute and stuff, and them trying to sort out Messi's contract. I don't think there's anything to that. But that kind of brings us full circle around to where we started, which was the forward situation, or the striker situation. And Patson Daka has been the name that Liverpool fans have been talking about the most. Obviously, after tonight's performance, Isak from Sweden has caught a lot of people's eye as well, the Real Sociedad youngster. But let's just concentrate on Patson Daka for a second, because Leicester have been linked with Patson Daka, Liverpool have been linked with him, West Ham have been linked with him, and so far it's quite quiet. Now, we were told, or it was put out there, that he was released from the national team or not called up so he could sort out his future. What I would say is, reading Patson Daka's account on Twitter yesterday, he did make a wonderful donation to a clinic that helped him and gave him treatment when he was a child, which just shows that he's a wonderful fella. You know, if you do these type of things, you remember where you come from. That just makes me want to sign him even more, because he seems like a good lad, and Klopp does like a good, sound character in the dressing room. And I know a lot of people are worried about Patson Daka because he's coming from the Austrian Bundesliga, where, you know, it's difficult to gauge because, you know, you can put up numbers there, but can you do it in another league? Well, if your name happens to be Haaland, yes, you can. And I think Patson Daka can go on to do the same. So where he ends up, it really is anybody's guess as of now, because he and everybody seem to be playing their cards close to their chest on this one. But it's a name that I don't think is going to go away until either we sign a different attacking player or he signs elsewhere. So I would I'd keep an eye on it, and I'm very hopeful. That's the one that I'd like to see. Of course, you can talk about Daniel Malin as well from PSV Eindhoven, and that young guy Isak from Real Sociedad that did so well for Sweden tonight, but yet was somehow taken off for the last 20 minutes, which I don't get. Right, what else we got? New contract for Pedri is much more likely, said Brian. I agree, and I don't think he's going to cost them the sun, the moon, and the stars, Brian, with regards to wages. You know, I think that's most likely, Brian. I would agree with you on that one. Prefer Sterling over all the others, said Sonny. How are you, Sonny? Same Sonny that was emailing me, I think. If so, thank you for reaching out, mate. And yeah, sorry about the situation. You'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so let's get to talk about Raheem Sterling. Another one that has been linked to Liverpool. Now, he's also been very well linked with a move away from Manchester City, as of course has Bernardo Silva and a couple of other players. Now look, the real problem about Raheem Sterling coming maybe back to Liverpool would be his wages, in my mind. And would Manchester City want to sell him to a rival? Of course, the player would hold some sway in this, particularly if the club want to push him out or are looking to free up cash to go and buy what's... I can't even believe I'm about to say this sentence. Even the thought of it fills me with dread and fear. There's talk that they're going to look to sign Harry Kane and Jack Grealish, and I hope that doesn't come to fruition, because that would be pretty daunting, wouldn't it, to go into that season if Manchester City pull them two signings off. But would I have Raheem Sterling back? Yeah, I probably would, actually. I would, if we could agree his wages with him. I've always said to you guys, the way he left wasn't ideal, but from a purely footballing perspective, I can understand at the time Liverpool was nowhere near as finished the project as it is now. Jurgen Klopp wasn't at the club. Things weren't looking great. Luis Suarez was looking for the exit door, or maybe he'd left at that point, I can't remember. And Raheem Sterling went for a really, really high transfer fee at the time. Liverpool got 50 million quid, so what happens with his future, I don't know. But would I have him back? If we could agree wages with him and it was a reasonable transfer fee and it worked for everybody, yeah. He's often spoke about having a soft spot for Liverpool still, and I don't think it'll happen, by the way, but you know, I'm just addressing the questions that people are putting into the chat. Would you sign Patrick Schick, said Tivnik. Obviously Schick did really well, and really well being an understatement. I mean, I think we have goal of the tournament winner, or the Puskás Award winner already with the goal against Scotland. It was I know Schick's the Austrian player, isn't it? I'm confused here. I'm sorry. I'm playing catch up today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm confusing myself here. Where are we? Yes, it was Patrick Schick that scored for the Czech Republic. For a second in my head I was thinking, is he Austrian? No. He did, of course, score that worldie, and an absolute worldie it was. If you haven't seen Schick's goal from just inside the Scotland half, you look forward to it, because it's all kinds of amazing. It really is. It has to be the Puskas Award winner this season. So yeah, he's being linked. Obviously plays for Leipzig. 15 million is rumoured to be the fee, but as I said to you guys many weeks ago, I think this is more a case of his agent trying to link the player to us than Liverpool really having an interest in him, although his stock will have certainly risen after his double goal scoring attributes today for the Czech Republic, who of course beat Scotland 2-0 at Hampden. So at 15 million, I mean, if you were to move on, let's say Minamino, as an example here, I'm just spitballing, if you were to move on to Kumi Minamino and you replace him with Patrick Schick for similar money, because I reckon you get about that for Minamino if it's the 15 million quid, perhaps be worth a punt, but you know, I think we'd have to free up a squad place before we take a punt on somebody like Schick. And again, I still think that it's his agent trying to link him to bigger clubs rather than genuine interest from our side. Reza said Vlahovic is a quality finisher. He's had a very good season at Fiorentina, and again, another one who's been linked with Liverpool. Do I think there's truth to it? I'd say we've scouted him, yes. I'd say Liverpool are, I know Liverpool have a very wide scouting network, and at any time are watching hundreds of footballers around the world, maybe thousands of footballers around the world, and Vlahovic at 21 years of age, coming through a Fiorentina, having the season that he had, is going to attract a lot of interest. But as often is the case, players move from one Italian club to another, and I get the feeling that if he does move, he'll stay in Italy somewhere. But a lot of this is just all guesswork, of course, because the club are playing their cards very close to the chest around transfers, and let's wait and see how it works out. I've got loads more time, by the way, if you guys want to keep going. Ben White, I think that was put to bed when we signed Canada, but I did see Ben White actually linked somewhere in the last couple of days. It was to another Premier League club, and I can't remember who it was, so I do apologise. Sorry I'm late, Neuhaus news. Well, the news, mate, depends on who you believe or what you believe. Some people are going as far as to say all signs point to Neuhaus being a Liverpool player after the Euros. But then there's other people out there who think that Manchester City are coming in for Neuhaus. And of course there's the Bayern Munich link to Neuhaus as well. So of all the midfielders we've been linked with, this one has been fairly long-standing in the links. And it does make a lot of sense, but I can't in good conscience sit here and say I know one way or the other when I don't. It would just be pure speculation. So from what I've watched of him, and I've started to watch more and more because, I was playing catch up on Neuhaus. I was honest in saying that I hadn't watched a lot of Borussia Mönchengladbach, but he certainly looks like he's worth a punt at 30 or 40 million euro. Arsenal, there you go. Thank you, guys. Yes, I know it was Arsenal, but I knew it was somebody in the Premier League, but Arsenal, there you go. Would I take Bruno at Liverpool? Of course I would, mate. I mean, I take most good footballers at Liverpool Football Club, but interestingly, the real link to a similar player to Liverpool is his replacement at Sporting Lisbon, who is Pedro Goncalves, I believe it's pronounced, although how I believe things are pronounced usually are how they aren't. But anyway, so this guy's come in, had a really good season, helped Sporting Lisbon to win the Portuguese Premier League this season. And, he scored goals off both feet, had some assists as well. And I think he's got a 52 million euro release clause in his contract. And I said this to you guys before, but I don't understand how this works. So Lisbon want to give him a new contract, but yet somehow, even if they do get him to agree new terms, they can't increase the release clause. I don't know why, but there you go. But he looks like a baller. He really does. So, that would be one I'd like to keep an eye on. But then again, I keep saying Klopp isn't really one for going out there and buying like somebody to play between the lines, even though I think we need it. He's not really somebody to go out and get that type of playmaker. He likes two workhorses in midfield. And I'd like us to try the 3-4-3 formation that we spoke about before. We do maybe need to keep one more centre-back, so maybe Nat Phillips or something like that, but yeah, is anybody else roasting, by the way? I'm absolutely melting here under the lights. Milinkovic-Savic, I don't believe the links to Milinkovic-Savic side. You guys have been asking me about them for the last few streams, and look, he's a very fine footballer. Seems to have been linked with a move to Manchester United forever, and it never came about. But again, if we are going to sign a midfielder, I would go as far as to say it's most likely Neuhaus from everything that I've read. But I still don't know if we're going to sign a new midfielder or not. Some people say we're not. Some people say we're going to carry on for another season, and that it'll give time for Curtis Jones to show what he can do. It depends what happens. Shaqiri, Origi, all the usual suspects are probably going to be available to buy if the right offers come in. And there was one more today actually, Grujic. So Grujic is very happy at Porto and apparently would like to stay there permanently. Liverpool have a price tag of 15 million quid on his head, and I think the two clubs are in talks right now, and it will take at least an 8-figure bid, meaning it'll have to be at least 10 million. So you probably see a compromise somewhere between the 10 and the 15, maybe the lower end with some add-ons and stuff like that. But Porto are looking to, if not maybe they already have, moved another midfielder out. So could be Grujic that they're using that money for. I can understand why they want him, by the way. He is still, to me, somebody who I would like to have seen given an opportunity at Liverpool. But for whatever reason, he hasn't really had a chance at the Reds. So if he does move, I'm sure Michael Edwards will do what Michael Edwards usually does and get the most money possible. But it is looking like Porto will be Marco Grujic's most likely long-term destination. Ethan said, sorry for the spam, but Leon Bailey or Moussa Diaby, Leverkusen wingers. Bailey's a really interesting one, isn't he? If I remember correctly, he's a Jamaican national, somebody who is extremely fast, but hasn't shown enough for me at Leverkusen. And when I watched him, I mean, it seems that every time I tuned into Leverkusen, he actually wasn't starting. Now maybe that has changed, but Bailey has a lot of potential. I'd put him up there with the likes of Iñaki Williams, players of that ilk who are still raw but have undoubted talents and attributes. And I've no doubt that Klopp knows all about Leon Bailey, because as we said earlier on at the start of the video, Klopp, German football, the scouting network, he'd have all the information he needs. So yeah, but I haven't seen anything to link him to the club, mate. And as for the other guy, absolutely nothing on him that I've seen either. Liverpool put in a bid for Sancho. Yeah, I think I have the notes on that on my phone. Bear with me 1 second. It's so busy. There's one around Coutinho. Remind me to get to that as well. So here we go. So Liverpool, this is a story that says Liverpool make Sancho move. Now this isn't me saying it. The Echo have put this story out there. And I've said this to you guys before, but they use Anfield Central as a source for a lot of their stories lately. And Anfield Central is a very, very small Twitter account. Do have a website. And the guy that runs it, I believe, used to run another site. That's to the best of my knowledge, that's what I remember. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, according to Anfield Central, Liverpool have made contact through an intermediary to explore a possible deal to sign Jadon Sancho this summer. Now, do I believe this? No, not really. I really don't. When you see the numbers being bandied around that Manchester United have been asked to pay for him, I think he'll end up at Manchester United. They've done the legwork. I think they're even in negotiations now trying to get that deal sorted out for Jadon Sancho, and I think he will become a Manchester United player. Would I have taken him at Liverpool? Yeah, of course I would. He's a fine young footballer. But, why through an intermediary? If you know that Manchester United are that far along in their negotiations, so they've agreed a wage structure of 350 grand a week with him apparently, they've agreed they led to the contract, I'm sure the agent has got his fee in there as well. So why would Liverpool then start to make tentative inquiries through an intermediary? Michael Edwards can speak for himself. Liverpool, if they wanted to, with Jurgen Klopp particularly, could just pick up the phone and contact Dortmund. I'm sure Klopp is still on very good terms with the people at Dortmund, and it wouldn't take much to talk to Michael Zorca about it. So the fact that they're saying an intermediary makes me think that it's bullshit, if I'm being honest with you. Now, do I think that we explored the possibility at one point? Yes. But I think that the numbers would put us off, because unless we were to sell one of our attacking quartet of players, I don't see FSG at this moment in time ponying up the dough to get Jadon Sancho. So yeah, I still think he's going to go to Manchester United. In fact, I'm almost certain he'll end up at Manchester United. And we have to react. We have to react to what a lot of other clubs are doing in this transfer market as well. Because as I said, if City go out there and get Kane and or Grealish, Chelsea looking for a striker, and they're very close to, maybe they put in the offer already, but they're trying to get the guy from Inter Milan, Hakimi, who's been linked with Paris Saint-Germain as well. So, you know, Chelsea aren't hanging about. They're going out there to do their business. And look, we started the window well. Canada is a very, very, very good piece of business for Liverpool Football Club, and somebody who I think will do really well. But is it the Euros that's delaying things? Is it the fact that maybe some of the staff are having their holidays after a busy couple of seasons and it'll be a little lull for a while? I don't know. I guess time will tell, but I wouldn't panic just yet. There's plenty of time left in the transfer window, plenty of twists and turns still to go. And as is always the case with these things, sometimes one transfer can cause a domino effect where, you know, 3-4 more happen off the back of that, particularly if it's a big transfer. Somebody said, get to your notes to talk about Coutinho. Right, I will, but you're not going to like what it's... Well, I'm very happy to read what it says, but I don't think you guys will. So, again, this one stems from BBC Sport, and Mundo Deportivo, I believe, are the original source of this story. Former Liverpool player Coutinho could be set for a sensational return to the Premier League with Leicester City. Now, Brendan Rodgers, of course, the man who brought Felipe Coutinho to Liverpool from Inter Milan. Now, the part of this story that really caught my eye, folks, was the fee. So we'd seen Liverpool linked with Felipe Coutinho. We'd seen Everton linked with Felipe Coutinho. I think at one point we may have even seen United linked with him, but then again, that could be just my imagination running away with itself. The transfer fee, believed to be what they're going to table. Have a guess. What do you think it might be for Felipe Coutinho? 25, 30 million? Nope. 40 million euro? Nope. 17 million pound, as per my friend in the chat there, Angroid69. 17 million pound. That would be good business for Leicester. I don't want them back at Liverpool because of a couple of reasons. One, he's been out for a long time with a knee injury. Two, I don't think he's improved. If anything, he's deteriorated since he left Liverpool. And I really, really don't like the way he feigned a back injury and a couple of other bits and pieces as well. But if Leicester got him for 17 million, that could be a very good piece of business for them at 17 million. But will that free up maybe Liverpool being able to go in and get Tielemans, or will it stop them from having the money to go and get the likes of Daka, who again, as I said earlier, they've been linked to? The links to Daka are interesting because it seemed like they were odds on to go and sign Utsen Edward from Celtic. Somebody who, again, we had been linked to at one point, but those links went away after, I think he let it be known to, I don't know if it was a newspaper or an intermediary, using the term that we used earlier on, that he doesn't want to come and sit on the bench. So, you know, fair enough, mate. If you don't think you're good enough to come to Liverpool, fair enough. But I thought he was going to go to Leicester. But in recent days, they've been linked more and more to Patson Daka as a long-term Jamie Vardy replacement. Because, you know, Jamie Vardy, a Leicester superstar, a Leicester legend, scored many, many goals for them, won the Premier League with them, and can't go on forever. And they do have Iheanacho at the club, but I still don't think Iheanacho's that great. I know he had a very good purple patch this season, but to me, I mean, I wouldn't have him at Liverpool, put it that way. So Coutinho and Daka both being linked. I did say there was a lot of Liverpool-Leicester crossover on tonight's stream, but 17 million, that would be cheap. That would be cheap, and I suppose that may be exploiting the financial mess that Barca are in right now. Messi just scores. Did somebody say Messi just scored? Please tell me that's true. Please tell me Messi's just scored. Please. Did he score? Somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat if Messi scored, and don't fucking wind me up because I have a lot of money on Messi to score. Did he score? Somebody let me know. I could look at my phone, but this is much more dramatic, don't you think? Come on, folks. Don't let me down. Adama Traore, said Nashil. He did score. Oh, I feel like dabbing right now. I really do. I feel like doing a happy dance. Do you know what we can do? Do you know what mofo we can break out right now, ladies and gentlemen? Who wants a little bit of Newlon? Because we haven't seen the little dancing fella in ages. I mean, look, he's been in Ibiza, as I'm sure you'd expect. I think he's been on the sherbet tonight, but look, there he is. Go on. I haven't stopped dancing yet since we met on our first date. I haven't stopped loving you yet. It's alright. Go on, Newlon. Yes, that makes me very happy, you absolute fucking legends. Thank you. That's a nice few quid in the bank for your boy Craig there. Newland's out though. Haven't seen him in a while. Great to see you guys in good form as well. As you can imagine, I'm in fine fettle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm also getting my second, what is that thing called with a stick of needle in your arm that isn't heroin? Sorry, that's so bad. I get my second vaccination tomorrow, my second COVID injection, which I'm looking forward to, which means in 2 weeks' time, you know, the antibodies and all will have been fully produced, and I should be technically 75-80% safe from COVID. But yeah, there you go. Your tats are sick. I read that completely differently, mate, at the time, and I was thinking, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. But yeah, they are quite good, mate, thank you, and a lot of hours spent, but I'm not finished with them yet. I do have a little bit more work to get done. Alright, Craig lad, how are you keeping? Tickety boo, Philip, tickety boo, my man, how are you? What's your opinion on plastic fans? I don't use the term plastic fans, mate. I don't label fans. I don't think that there is a manual on how you can be a football supporter. I think football supporters come in all different shapes and sizes. Now, I do have a term for what I call the fair weather fans, who we're all YNWA until something goes wrong, in which case it's fuck everybody, fuck the club, blah de blah de blah. Now them, I do have a little bit of a gripe with. Alright, my man, yes. Renato Sanchez, I mean, you're on form tonight, guys. You are on form with the names. You know your links. I mean, bang, bang, bang. You've got them ready. I love it. Right, Jake. So, Renato Sanchez does, again, Neuhaus probably the most likely midfielder. But if you look at the calibre of Renato Sanchez and the type of player that he is, somebody who burst through at Benfica, obviously spent some time at Swansea, went to Bayern Munich before that, didn't quite work out for him, but has gone to the French League and helped Lille to the League 1 title. And he does have a bang of Jurgen Klopp off him, doesn't he? Like, it does seem like a Kloppo signing. Somebody who perhaps a little bit undervalued in the market, somebody who can be definitely improved with coaching, particularly with the level of coaches we have at the club. And, you know, it's very easy for me to sit here and shake my head and go, no, but I could join those dots very easily in my mind to see why Jurgen Klopp would look at Renato Sanchez and see him as somebody who he could perhaps come in and turn into the midfielder that he promised to be when he broke through at Benfica. So, possible, but I'd say more of a long shot. I mean, I think every player in Lille's been linked somewhere after them winning the French League. Kone, for instance, as an example, have been linked to a lot of clubs. Their wide player, although Big Yilmaz hasn't been linked with a move away. They got him, I think, for nothing maybe from Fenerbahce, or if not, really cheap. Isma'la Sarr. Okay, so this is a bit of a blast from the past for me, Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones, call him Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, wake up now. Sorry, mate, your name made me do it. It's not my fault. Anyway, let's talk about Isma'la Sarr. We did contact Watford over Sarr before we went and signed Diogo's, and we were met with a valuation of around £50 million, which they wanted mainly up front in one lump sum, and we're not I was going to say we're not rich enough, we're kind of fucking are. John W. Henry was having none of it, let's put it that way. He didn't want to pony up that much dough up front. We went and signed Diogo Jota, and the rest, as I say, is history. Or is it? Because we have been linked with him again in this window. I think, though, the same situation would probably come around. Liverpool like to do the transfer deals over. It's not just Liverpool. Many clubs like to do the transfer deals over the course of a player's contract. So, like the way we signed Thiago, 5 million immediately, 5 million a year for 4 years, the course of his contract. Diogo Jota, if my memory's right, it was something like 9.5, 10 million quid down, and the rest over the course of his contract at Liverpool. So, and you've got to take into account as well that Watford are just come back up to the Premier League. So, if anything, they'll want to keep hold of Sarr. Another season in the Premier League with Watford. If he does well, even if they get relegated, they'd still get a pretty penny for him. So, again, I think it's just the Pozzi family, who also owned an Italian club. I think it's Udinese, if my memory's right. They're not short of a few bob. So, I don't think Sarr will be coming to Liverpool. He's been linked with United as well, but I think those links will go away, of course, if and when United sign Jadon Sancho. Anything on Barella, other than a lot of us hoping and praying, mate? No. I mean, I think a lot of people seen Nicolas Barella maybe. Some of you guys, like myself, will have seen Barella play for Inter Milan. But, you know, some people's first view of him may have been at the Euros with Italy, and he had a very, very good game because he's a damn fine footballer. Would I have Nicola Barea? Yes. In a heartbeat. He would be right near the very top of my list of midfielders. But with Hakimi maybe moving on, I don't think Inter Milan are under as much pressure to free up cash, because they do need to raise around 70 million or so. It was one of the reasons that Conte left. So, as much as I'd like him, and I really, really, really would like him, because, you know, you're bang on, he's a fine footballer, but I don't think they'll sell. I really don't. Not yet. Any news on Isak? Again, touched on it at the start of the stream. He plays for Real Sociedad, and he has been linked with us, so it's not just people reacting to him having a good game for Sweden tonight. He genuinely has been linked with us, and I did research him a bit more. I think 17 goals, I think, if I'm right, last season for Real Sociedad in the Liga, which is, it's a pretty good return for, you know, not one of the top 4 clubs in La Liga. And if tonight was anything to go by, and I spoke to Joe actually on That's Football. Joe, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Joe lives in Sweden, so there's a lot of hype in Sweden around this guy. And certainly him and Patson Daka, they are the type of calibre of forward I would expect. Yeah, somebody with undoubted potential, young, raw, not to finished product. So I wouldn't rule it out. It means a very, very good show himself, Daniel Malin, Patson Daka. Any of those 3, I think, will be worth a punt. I did say punt, by the way, there. I want to make that very clear. Barea will be too expensive. I think you're right, mate. I do. He is a wonderful footballer, though. He really is. Messi's now put a free kick in the back of the net. There you go. Do you mean it would be almost... It would be almost mad if I had him to score from outside the box as well, wouldn't it? Right, what else have we got? Would I take Nesri from Sevilla? He's actually not too bad, but no, I wouldn't. And would I take Mbappe for Mane and Origi? Well, one, I can't in any way see the PSG be going, do you know what, lads? We've come to the conclusion that we can deal with losing Kylian Mbappe. Now, we want Sadio Mane, but we also want us a bit of Divock. So, I can't see it happening, mate. But I don't want to lose any of our front 4 because I'm greedy. But I would like us to make that big signing. And you know what my choo-choo is? It's all around the Jude Bellingham. Hey Jude! For next summer. That's what I'd like to see. A lot of talk that Bellingham may extend his contract at Borussia Dortmund. I think that will be purely to reward him for a very good season, and perhaps to up his buyout clause if there's a buyout clause in his contract. So I'm fully on board that hype train now for the next year. So, you know, every stream you're going to hear me saying, go sign Jude Bellingham. Go sign him. Did anyone see actually Liam Gallagher tweeted "Hey Jude" on his Twitter account, and Jude Bellingham quote tweeted it by saying "Hey Liam," which I thought was a masterstroke from him. Well played. What else we got? How much did you bet? I'm saying nothing, mate. I'm saying nothing. But what I will say is, never bet more than you can afford to lose, and never bet when you're angry. And just bet to add a little bit of fun if you are going to have a bet. If betting isn't your thing, sound. Enjoy the Euros, have fun, and all the best. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to pressurize somebody to bet, but I am somebody who likes a little flutter. Craig, the Austrian squad has got quality players. Their goal yesterday was a very fine finish, wasn't it? Very difficult angle for the volley, but it was a good finish. Right, we haven't ticked towards 110k, but there is still time, ladies and gentlemen, so please do hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. We only need about 50, I think, at this point or so. So hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video. Tomorrow, keep an eye out for the One Football News Show, which I'll be dropping. I say Connor's probably editing it now, although he is in the pub, or he was in the pub, so could be some interesting editing from Mr. Crosby, who's been knocking it out of the park lately with the work that he's doing. Give a chance to Jones. He is, without a doubt, going to be a mainstay of the Liverpool midfield moving forward, mate. Is a ball. He's brilliant. Curtis Jones, none of us have any doubts around. At least no Reds that I've been speaking to. And I think Curtis Jones is going to be something special. And of course, we've got Harvey Elliott coming back as a wide player as well. How much would you say Belgium is worth? As in the whole country? Or you meant, you trying to say Bellingham? I think you're trying to say Bellingham. Because it would make far more sense than you asking me randomly how much a country is worth. So let's just start the process again, shall we? Yasir, thank you for the super chat, dude. How much would I say Jude Bellingham is worth, you ask? Now, I'll give you what I think it'll be worth at the end of next season. I think it'll probably cost upwards of 60 million quid to get Jude Bellingham. And I would pay it, and I would pay it in a heartbeat. And I would urge the owners, and I'm sure Klopp is as well. I mean, he is... The phrase generational talent does get lobbed around a lot, but he looks the real deal. He looks like another Steven Gerrard. So if he is to become another Steven Gerrard-esque, then there's no place for him to be other than Liverpool, surely. Gotta do that. Bellingham ain't coming. Ah, Jesus, Sean. Thanks for pissing me cornflakes, mate. I mean, I'm not even allowed to be happy and Sean's in here, whipping his lad out and just covering those cornflakes in his urine. I am waving my hand here under the table like this, by the way, just for, some significance to what I'm doing. Let us dream, Sean. Do you know what I mean? We've got to dream, mate. If we don't dream, what's the point? Hello, Craig. How are you? I'm good, Aaron. I'm really good. I'm in a good mood today. What about Phillips being wanted by us fans? Calvin Phillips is a quality footballer, but I don't think that Steve Nicol, was it Steve Nicol who was talking about Calvin Phillips yesterday? Maybe an American in the chat can help me out with that one. He had a very good, very, very, very good performance for England. Man of the match without a doubt. What do I think of Sabitzer for 70 million? Would he suit Liverpool? Colin, I said a little bit earlier on, if you were to move on, say, Takumi Minamino or something, maybe worth taking a punt on the likes of Sabitzer, but it would be to fill a place that's already been freed up for me rather than bringing him in to get one of the obvious two areas that we need strengthen, which to me is midfield and some type of a forward, whether it be a straight out number 9 or whether it be somebody who can play across the front three. Sing a Backstreet Boys song. Oh, you don't want me to. Well, my wife definitely doesn't want me to because, and I'm not lying when I say this, myself and my mates used to sit around when we were drunk and we had a routine to one of the Backstreet Boys songs, and I'm not going to say it, but it was pretty good. It was a pretty good routine, I won't lie to you. I won't lie. Right, what else have we got? Connor's new beard is knocking it out of the park, to be fair. Now you're just rubbing it in, Brian. You're just rubbing it in now because I can't grow a beard, and at 22 years of age this year, Connor can grow a beard, so... Do I have beard envy? Yeah. Do I have hair envy? Maybe a little bit. Do I have height envy? Yeah. But I've got the talent. Right, look, ladies and gents, I'm going to go grab a shower because it's very warm. And under this light, it's very, very hot. So, tomorrow, here's what's coming up. I'll be live here again tomorrow night at around 10 o'clock for another late night agenda. So I hope you can join me for that one. You'll also be able to catch me over on That's Football, co-hosting with Mark Goldbridge tomorrow for the France versus Germany game, which is... I don't want to big it up in case it's a stinker, but it could be an absolutely amazing game. We did a game last night. We did the Netherlands-Ukraine game, which was a 5-goal thriller, which was lots of fun as well. So you'll catch me over there tomorrow. I'll be in a watch along of all the England games here on Anfield Agenda, so look out for them as well. And look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving up your time. Please do hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy the sunny weather. What's weather? Weather. Put the sun cream on, don't be a hero. I'll talk to you soon. Lots of love.